All right, hello, welcome back, everybody. PayPal and Patreon are down there if you want to support me. Only do so if you actually can. So, South Africa, a country famous, or rather now infamous, for a number of things, corrupt politicians, which then kind of leads into the various other problems that have the country down spiraling, such as a stagnant, rapidly decaying economy, and the one-third of the population being unemployed that plays into growing malfunctions and issues with the country's rail transportation network, which is only hampering the aforementioned problems, and of course the most famous, the constant decay and degradation of South Africa's power grid because of the aforementioned corrupt politicians constantly embezzling money out of the funding for the country's electricity network, thus leaving the network with less and less money each time to actually spend on maintenance upkeep. At the point now where, on average, South Africa's power grid can only supply about 24 gigawatts of power usually, compared to the country having an underlying demand, or otherwise would have a demand level of around 30 gigawatts. And half the time, the power grid can't even actually supply that maximum capability of 24 or 25 gigawatts, because half the time they're having to load shed and just throw huge sections of the country into blackout for multiple hours every day. And one's hopeful assumption from that would probably be something like, well, that's probably it. It can't really get any worse, can it? Oh, yes, it can. And oh, yes, it has. You see, Johannesburg, South Africa's biggest city, and where around a fifth of the population is centered, is now suffering the complete and utter collapse of its water distribution system. The pipelines carrying water from the nearby reservoirs are just completely breaking down and failing. They were already doing that pre 2024. About 40% of water sent through the pipelines to the city was lost along transit. However, now it has rapidly exceeded that percentage to a point where only about half the city is actually receiving any water. So half of a fifth of the population of the country is obviously about 10% of the entire country's population over the last couple weeks has now lost access to running water. And obviously, this isn't just people, this also includes industry and businesses that also use that water, and thus, along with the electricity problems, are now going to have even greater difficulties producing whatever they're supposed to produce, and thus is going to continue down spiraling the country's economy even further. And this water problem, all these bursts and leakages in the pipelines, stems from the fact that around the Johannesburg area in particular, and probably the rest of South Africa, water pipelines, the water main infrastructure, is mostly a mix of 70 years old or older. Most of that stuff is either from before or just after World War II, and it just hasn't been replaced or even touched at all or repaired since then, thus leading to this first phase of, for the moment, only the Johannesburg area's total water system breakdown. Although, at least for the moment, it is only half of that entire major city's metropolitan area for now. All right, that's it for this one. Thank you, everybody, for sticking around and listening. Like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you haven't already. PayPal and Patreon are down there if you want to support me. Only do so if you actually can. There's a link either in the description of the video or on the channel profile to a Google Drive folder that has all kinds of different docs containing graphs and data compilations and other types of resources covering all kinds of stuff from oil and gas to energy and minerals, mining, demographics, everything. So you can access any of that anytime. It's all there. It's all free. You can use it in your own stuff even if you want to. A link to my cat's channel will be in the top pinned comment as well. May God bless and protect all of you, and I will see you all around next time.